This man will be arrested, and the Lord urges you to open this message now. Chosen one, if you're watching this, understand. God is interrupting your path for a reason. He is placing a key in your hand, one that unlocks hidden truth, urgent warning, and protection you need now. What follows is critical for your safety and your future. You are not alone in this unfolding battle. There is a man whose deeds have been soaked in deception, manipulation, and hidden violence. His actions have torn lives apart. His lies have created confusion. His charm has masked destruction. But hear this. His season of secrecy is ending. His web of deceit is collapsing. His day of false power is over. The Lord has declared a turning point. And when God declares a turning point, nothing on earth can silence it. Every time evil rises, heaven rises higher. Every time injustice grows stronger, truth grows louder. Every time darkness stretches its hand, the light of God stretches further. That is justice. That is certain. That is the unshakable order of the kingdom. Today, you are being summoned not as a spectator, but as a witness of truth, of justice, of divine timing. For the Lord says, when evil appears to stand firm, it is only standing at the edge of its own collapse. And this collapse has already begun. This message is your key, your reminder that the Judge of all creation has seen everything done in secret. Nothing is hidden from him, nothing escapes him, nothing defies him. You were led here because heaven wants you to understand. Justice is moving, truth is awakening, destiny is shifting, and your spirit must be prepared. If you receive this word, if your heart bears witness to it, declare it boldly. Comment 777 to align with justice. Like this message, share it to spread the word, and subscribe to stand in the light of truth. There is a man whose actions have carved deep wounds into the lives of many, and the weight of his wrongdoing can no longer be ignored. His harm is not accidental. It is deliberate, calculated, and sharpened over time like a weapon forged in secrecy. He has used manipulation as his language, deceit as his strategy, and charm as his disguise. Wherever he walks, confusion rises. Wherever he speaks, trust collapses. Wherever he acts, chaos spreads. This is not merely misconduct, it is devastation, it is corrosion. It is a spreading darkness that has already consumed far more than anyone realized. The severity of this moment cannot be understated. A person like this is not just dangerous, he is destabilizing. He fractures families, friendships, and communities. He exploits innocence. He thrives on silence. He hides behind the fear of those he has crushed, assuming that their trembling voices will never rise against him. But the time of trembling is ending, and the time of reckoning is approaching with force. Every lie he has spoken has built a fragile tower ready to fall. Every life he has broken testifies against him. Every secret he has buried is pushing upward like fire under pressure, waiting to erupt into the open. When wickedness grows bold, justice grows bolder. When deception multiplies, truth intensifies. When harm increases, divine accountability accelerates. Logic itself stands against him. No structure built on manipulation can remain standing. No power rooted in corruption can remain unchallenged. No kingdom of lies can outrun the collapse that truth demands. He believes himself untouchable, but untouchable men fall the hardest. He believes himself hidden, but hidden sins shout the loudest. He believes himself secure, but security built on suffering is nothing but a crumbling illusion. He is not simply a man who made mistakes. He is a man who crafted destruction. He is a danger to others, a threat to peace, a walking warning of what happens when evil is left unchecked. And heaven will not allow this pattern to continue. Justice is sharpening its sword. Truth is stepping into position. The weight of his actions is finally returning to him, and the consequences he thought he evaded are already on their way. There is a law woven into the fabric of the universe, a moral gravity that cannot be escaped, a divine order that ensures every act, good or evil, moves toward its rightful end. This is not theory, it is spiritual architecture. And it is this architecture that now presses against the man who has caused so much harm. His downfall is not random or accidental. It is the inevitable collision between wrongdoing and the justice that governs creation itself. C.S. Lewis once wrote in The Problem of Pain that evil contains within itself the seeds of its own destruction. He explained that no creature can find lasting happiness by resisting the purpose for which it was created. A life built on deception, manipulation, and cruelty eventually collapses under the weight of its own rebellion. This truth is not philosophical decoration, it is divine law. It is what happens when a person attempts to bend reality to accommodate their sin. Reality bends back. Sin promises freedom, but delivers bondage. Lies promise protection, but deliver exposure. Pride promises power, but delivers ruin. What you are witnessing in this unfolding story is the outworking of that timeless principle. When a man chooses destruction, destruction circles back. When he builds a life on deceit, deceit tightens around him like a snare. When he harms others, the moral universe responds with precision, ensuring that injustice never holds the final word. Every hidden act creates a spiritual consequence. Every corrupt choice sets in motion a chain that eventually returns to its source. This is not vengeance, it is order. This is not a coincidence, it is divine alignment. The seriousness of this moment lies in understanding that no one escapes the structure God has established. The higher a man climbs using corruption, the farther he must fall when truth exposes him. The louder he boasts in darkness, the louder justice will speak in daylight. The more he resists accountability, the more swiftly accountability advances. And so the process has begun. His own actions have turned against him. The very strategies he used to oppress others have become the instruments of his undoing. This is the moral law Lewis described. This is the justice Scripture affirms. Evil can run, but it cannot outrun the truth. Evil can hide, but it cannot hide from the judge who sees all things. Evil can build, but it cannot build anything that will stand. The collapse has already begun, and its tremors are shaking everything this man once trusted to protect him. The strategies he fashioned in darkness are now unraveling under the weight of truth. What he built to hide himself is cracking open. What he used to harm others is turning against him with ruthless precision. This is not a gentle shift, this is a violent reversal, a divine upheaval, a moral earthquake. When lies collapse, they do not fall quietly, they fall with force, they fall with consequence, they fall with a sound that echoes through the lives of everyone they once deceived. The signs are unmistakable. His confidence is leaking. His control is slipping. His false power is crumbling as a tower struck at the foundation. Every secret he buried rises. Every whisper he silenced returns as a roar. Every wound he inflicted becomes a witness against him. And as truth presses forward, the pressure intensifies, suffocating the last spaces where his deception once lived comfortably. He cannot outrun what is coming. He cannot outthink it. He cannot overpower it. The collapse is not hypothetical. It is already in motion. Emotion builds because injustice always carries a scent before it falls. You can feel it in the air, the same way a storm announces itself before the first strike of lightning. There is tension. There is weight. There is a spiritual heaviness that signals the approach of divine intervention, and this moment is no different. The storm of truth is moving in, and nothing he has constructed can endure it. His lies are buckling, his alliances are fracturing, his reputation is decaying. Every illusion he crafted is dissolving like mist in the heat of judgment. When truth erupts, it does not ask permission. It does not wait for the guilty to prepare a defense. It arrives like fire, consuming everything that cannot withstand its purity. That is what is happening now. This man stands at the edge of a breaking point. He cannot delay, deny, or deflect. His downfall is not merely probable, it is inevitable, it is deserved. It is unfolding with a momentum that cannot be stopped. And as the collapse continues, one reality becomes undeniable. Justice is no longer approaching, it is entering the room. The people he wounded, those who once trembled beneath the weight of his manipulation, are rising. What was once silent is now stirring. What was once broken is gathering strength. Their unity is not accidental. It is the natural response of souls pushed too far. For there comes a moment when pain refuses to stay quiet, and truth refuses to stay buried. These individuals, who carried their suffering in private, are now stepping into the open, and their courage is becoming a force he can no longer control. They are discovering one another, realizing that their stories are not isolated tragedies, but connected threads in a tapestry of wrongdoing woven by the same destructive hands. And as they recognize this shared experience, something powerful ignites among them. Their voices rise, their courage ignites, their unity breaks the chains. What was once fear is turning into resolve. What was once shame is becoming testimony. What was once a weakness is transforming into collective strength. And together, they are forming a wall of truth he cannot penetrate. The seriousness of this moment is undeniable. When victims unite, the balance of power shifts violently. It destabilizes the oppressor. It exposes his patterns. It enables investigations. It amplifies the truth in ways he never anticipated. The emotional weight intensifies because their stories raw, honest, and aligned strike with the precision of arrows aimed at the heart of his deception. Every account becomes evidence. Every shared experience becomes illumination. Every voice becomes a warning bell, signaling the end of his unchecked cruelty. He depended on their isolation, but their unity has destroyed his strategy. He relied on their silence, but their testimonies now roar like thunder. He counted on their fear, but fear has begun to crumble under the pressure of conviction. What once held them down is no longer strong enough to restrain them. They have seen what he hoped they would never see, that together they are stronger than the fear he planted in them. This rising chorus of truth is not passive. It is confrontational, disruptive, and unstoppable. Their unity is the instrument of justice. Their voices are the hammer striking against the walls of his secrecy. And with every word spoken, every story shared, every truth revealed, the path toward his downfall becomes clearer, sharper, and more unavoidable. The turning point becomes unmistakable when authority awakens. What began as whispers among the wounded has now reached the ears of those with the power to act. Investigators step in. Questions sharpen. Evidence gathers like storm clouds, ready to release their force. The system that once seemed distant, slow, or indifferent is now moving with purpose, guided by the momentum of undeniable truth. And as each fact surfaces, the man who once walked with arrogant confidence begins to feel the ground shift violently beneath him. This is where the seriousness escalates. Beyond personal consequence, this is institutional confrontation. His lies are no longer judged by opinion, but by law. His manipulation is no longer hidden in shadows, but examined under unforgiving scrutiny. His actions are no longer dismissed as misunderstandings. They are catalogued, documented, connected, and prepared to be weighed in the scales of justice. And those scales are tilting, heavily and decisively, against him. The emotional intensity deepens because this is the moment every victim hoped for and feared simultaneously. Hope because justice is finally advancing. Fear because the process exposes old wounds. Yet even in that tension, courage rises. Their testimonies strengthen the investigation. Their unity fortifies the case. Their truth lights the way forward, and the more they speak, the more inescapable his downfall becomes. He feels it now, that tightening grip of consequence. His influence weakens. His allies distance themselves. His mask fails under the pressure of mounting evidence. The world he crafted through deceit begins to collapse in the face of undeniable reality. And as the truth draws closer, every false foundation he relied upon begins to disintegrate. Justice is not delayed. Justice is not denied. Justice is not defeated. It advances with precision, striking every hidden corner he once believed untouchable. What once protected him now betrays him. What once shielded him now exposes him. What once elevated him now drags him downward with unstoppable force. This is the moment when heaven and earthly authority align. This is the moment when the full weight of accountability descends. This is the moment he can no longer escape, evade, or manipulate. His reckoning is not coming someday, it is unfolding now. Step by step, line by line, witness by witness, evidence by evidence. The walls are closing in, and they will not stop until justice completes its work. There comes a moment in every story of injustice when the spotlight shifts not from the wrongdoer, but to those who have endured the weight of his actions. This is that moment for you. You may be listening to this message. Your soul recognizes a familiar wound because you have carried pain quietly, or because you know what it feels like to be harmed by someone who believed they would never face consequences. And the gravity of this truth must be spoken clearly. You are not insignificant in this story. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not without divine protection. The seriousness of what you have lived through matters deeply. Harm leaves fractures that others cannot see. Manipulation leaves scars that linger long after the lies fade. Injustice leaves a heaviness that settles into the soul. And yet, despite all of this, you have survived. That survival is not weakness. It is strength. It is resilience. It is testimony. Every time you stood up when fear tried to silence you, heaven witnessed it. Every time you held on when despair whispered defeat, heaven recorded it. Every time you continued forward when everything inside you felt broken, heaven honored it. That is why this message reaches you now, because what you have endured has not been overlooked by the God who sees in secret and defends the oppressed. The emotional weight of this chapter cannot be minimized. You were harmed, you were diminished, you were made to believe that your voice did not matter. But the truth is rising, and with it, so are you. The downfall of the one who caused chaos is not only about his accountability, it is about your restoration. Justice is not merely punishment for the wrongdoer, it is healing for the wounded. It is the return of power to those who were robbed of it. It is the lifting of shame from those who carried it unfairly. Your courage is now part of the unfolding of truth. Your endurance is part of the shift occurring in the spiritual and natural realm. And your story, your real, painful, powerful story, is part of a larger movement that heaven is orchestrating. You are being strengthened for a reason. You are being awakened for a purpose. You are being reminded of your worth, because the next chapter of your life requires the boldness to believe that good can still come, healing can still arrive, and justice can still prevail. The one who harmed you is facing the weight of his actions, but you are facing something far greater, the beginning of your restoration. Justice is moving toward him, but hope is moving toward you, and neither can be stopped. Waiting is one of the heaviest battles the human spirit ever fights. It stretches the soul, tests the heart, and challenges every belief you hold about timing, fairness, and hope. And yet, waiting is often the very place where God does his most transformative work, not in the moment of breakthrough, but in the long, quiet, aching space before it arrives. This is where destiny is shaped. This is where character is forged. This is where faith is proven. And this is where you stand now. You may feel as though you've been waiting far too long for justice, for healing, for answers, for clarity. You may wonder why nothing is changing fast enough, why the burden still feels heavy, why the night still lingers. But hear this truth with all seriousness and weight. Delay is not denial. Silence is not abandonment. Waiting is not punishment. Sometimes God protects you by slowing you down. Sometimes he strengthens you by refining you. Sometimes he positions you by withholding what is not yet ready. And sometimes he allows you to wait, because the blessing he is preparing is far greater than anything you imagined rushing toward. Consider Joseph, a man who knew waiting more intimately than most. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, unjustly imprisoned. Years passed in darkness. Years filled with unanswered questions. Years where it would have been easy to believe that God had forgotten him. But Joseph's story reveals a powerful truth. The waiting was not wasted. Every setback prepared him. Every delay shaped him. Every hardship positioned him for a moment of impact he could never have reached without them. And when God finally opened the door, it was not just the right moment, it was the perfect moment. The same principle surrounds your life now. God is not late. God is not indifferent. God is not ignoring the weight you carry. He is preparing something that requires precision. He is aligning people, circumstances, justice, restoration, and opportunity in ways you cannot yet see. And when the moment arrives, it will unfold with clarity, purpose, and strength. Your waiting is the soil where your next season is being planted. Every time you stay faithful, you grow. Every time you hold on, you strengthen. Every time you choose hope over despair, you move forward. That is not stagnation, it is preparation. That is not weakness, it is divine development. That is not wasted time, it is sacred time. Justice is moving toward the one who harmed you, but blessing is moving toward you. And just like Joseph, when the door finally opens, you will understand why you had to wait. You will see that every delay was a step toward something greater, and you will taste the sweetness that only comes after a long, painful season of trusting God's perfect timing. There is a journey unfolding in your life right now, one that feels uncertain, uncomfortable, and stretched by pressures you never asked for. Yet this journey is not without purpose. You are being shaped, instructed, and prepared for something far greater than what you see in this moment. Every struggle, every delay, every battle you've endured has been part of a pathway that heaven designed long before you understood you were walking it. And though the road has not been easy, the weight you feel is not meaningless, it is directional, it is intentional, it is sacred. Consider David, anointed to be king, yet forced into years of waiting, hiding, surviving, and trusting. He had the promise long before he had the throne. He had the calling long before he had the opportunity. He had the destiny long before he had the position. And what happened between the promise and the fulfillment? Refining, testing, strengthening, situations that forced him to choose whether he would take matters into his own hands or trust the timing of the one who called him. He had moments where revenge seemed justified, where taking the shortcut felt logical, where ending his enemy appeared to be the fastest path to the crown. But David refused. He would not force what God had promised. He would not seize what God had appointed. He waited because he understood that a destiny birthed by God must be fulfilled by God. Your journey mirrors this truth. You carry wounds, yet you continue forward. You carry questions, yet you keep listening. You carry exhaustion, yet you refuse to surrender. And even though you may not fully see it, every step you've taken in faith has brought you closer to the place God has prepared for you. The challenges you've endured are not evidence of abandonment, they are evidence of preparation. You are being trained to stand stronger, speak more clearly, discern deeper, and walk with authority. You are learning resilience not by avoiding battles, but by surviving them. You are learning faith not by receiving every answer immediately, but by trusting when no answer appears. The weight you feel is the weight of elevation. The tension you feel is the tension before the breakthrough. The pressure you feel is the pressure that shapes leaders, restores identity, and births purpose. What is coming for you requires strength, clarity, and maturity, and this journey is forming all of it within you. Justice is pursuing the one who harmed you, but purpose is pursuing you. And as with David, the moment will come when you will look back and see that every hardship was a step toward your calling. Every tear was watering your future, and every season of waiting was preparing you to carry what God is about to place in your hands. The journey is not easy, but it is leading you somewhere extraordinary. This is the moment where everything converges: truth, justice, restoration, and divine purpose. The story of this man's downfall is no longer unfolding in silence. It is advancing with the unstoppable force of heaven's decree. His actions have summoned judgment, his deception has summoned exposure, and his cruelty has summoned consequences that he cannot outrun. But alongside this reckoning comes something even more powerful: the rise of your healing, the awakening of your strength, the return of what darkness tried to steal from you. Justice is moving toward him, but victory is moving toward you. Truth is dismantling his world, but hope is reconstructing yours. This is not the end of a painful chapter, it is the beginning of a redeemed one. Hear this declaration with gravity and certainty. What was taken from you will be restored, what was broken in you will be rebuilt, and what was silenced in you will speak again with authority. You are stepping into a season where the shadows lose their grip and the wounds lose their power. Every false word spoken against you is losing its influence. Every fear that haunted you is losing its ability to hold you back. Every injustice that weighed on your spirit is being met by a justice far greater than anything you could orchestrate yourself. This is divine alignment. This Isa, holy intervention. This is the moment heaven stretches out its hand and shifts the direction of your life. And now we pray, Father, we call upon your justice, your wisdom, and your unfailing truth. Shine your light upon every hidden place where lies have lived. Expose what must be exposed, correct what must be corrected. Bring accountability with precision, and restore those who were harmed with compassion. Strengthen the weary, lift the broken, surround every wounded heart with your presence. Let your peace fill the places where fear once lived, and let your courage rise where shame once settled. Guide the hands of every authority involved. Let them act with clarity, fairness, and unwavering conviction. Let truth triumph. Let justice prevail. Let restoration begin. And now, a final prophetic declaration. You are stepping out of the shadows. You are stepping into truth. You are stepping into the future that has been waiting for you. Justice is not only coming, it is here. Hope is not only returning, it is rising. Breakthrough is not only possible, it is already unfolding. Declare your victory. Declare your justice. Declare your breakthrough. Comment 777 to seal this word in faith. Like this message. Share it so truth can reach those who need it, and subscribe to continue walking in strength, clarity, and divine purpose. The story is shifting. Your life is turning. And everything that comes next will reveal the power of a God who sees, who hears, and who redeems.